So again, welcome to Music Mondays with Terri Cann, where our guest artist, we're talking to the only, the one, and the only. If you guys don't know about him tonight, you're gonna find out. Thank you, T. Girl, I didn't want to put on my lashes. I put on some.
What's up?
Wait, let me fix my vibrato. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderfully. How are you?
I am well, thank you, thank you. Welcome to Music Mondays with Terri Cann. We're honored to have you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
We're going to give it just 20 more seconds just for some more people to come on in the room because I have a lot of questions. I know you have a lot of great answers. And listen, guys, hit that share button, especially for our independent artists that are out there. All right. We're about to give y'all the scoop. The scoop.
The scoop.
I don't even wear my liner. Okay. You're about to get the scoop. I can't use my light because of these glasses. Correct. Okay.
Oh, man.
We're about to go. It's okay. Oh my God. Awesome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I am so excited. How have you been?
Pretty good. Really still on a high from Friday. We had such an amazing webinar on copyright and publishing.
Yes.
And just still excited. People are, still commenting and just saying, hey, how much they have really appreciated it. And so I'm just really grateful for, the opportunity to have shared and bring on some really amazing people, to be a part.
People, I feel like we need this information that you're sharing. Unfortunately, in this day and age, people just think you go on social media and you blow up and then that's it. And then, they wonder why the industry robs them after because lack of knowledge, right? So
Yeah.
we're grateful to you for sharing that information. I myself have to listen to the playback. I cannot wait. But let's go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to Music Mondays with Terri Cann.
Welcome.
Thank you for all those who are joining us. Tonight,
Yes.
we have Mr. Penceal himself, a.k.a. KenPen. And I want to start with that. Where did the KenPen come in? What's that name mean?
Well, that's a derivative of my name. So
Okay.
my full name is Kenyan Penceal. And one day I discovered that I could write a little bit. And just a little bit. And
You're so modest.
and so I was, so I said, yo, my moniker is going to be KenPen. But if you were to ask one of my friends, PJ Morton, he would say that he gave me that name. I'm like, bro, I was born with the name, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
First of all, it's PJ Morton, so he gave you the name. Okay, let's just go with that because it's PJ Morton.
Okay.
No, that's dope. That's dope. And the name, it's like God named you that for a purpose because clearly your pen is mighty, brother. But we're gonna get into all of that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Clearly, let's go all the way back to the beginning. I want to know, how did you get started in the music business, in the industry?
Well, before there's a business, there's actually the music. And you know what? Before we even go there, thank you so much, first and foremost, for having me. I'm excited. The way that we connected earlier this year before I left for tour was making the band. You were just a godsend, it was very divine.
Yes.
So, I was like, yeah, thank you. It was a divine moment. So I just want to say thank you. I'm a very spiritual guy, led of the spirit, and fortunate to work in the secular industry. So now, before we jump into the business, music there's the music, right? And so I started in church, but before there was church, actually was home. My parents exposed me to some really great people, great artists. That is ranging from the Clock Sisters, the Winans, Hezekiah Walker, John P. Key. To I remember the days when my biological mom, who's now deceased, she would listen to Light FM, and so my ears really took a liking towards the sounds of James Taylor. People from like the 70s and the 80s, it was just like this sound that really grabbed my heart. So my palette just really became diverse. And so I said, if I ever had the opportunity to do, or rather to contribute to the music industry, if you will, that's what I would want to do. I would want to, blend. I wanted it to be a blend of,
Right.
How I felt when I heard John P. Key, or when I heard Marvin Winans, or when I heard James Taylor or Bonnie Raitt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from there, so you had the desire. You said you saw a need, basically. You wanted to fill it. So how did you actually start? I know you can't just make phone calls these days and say, "Hey, Diddy."
Okay, so you want to hear something funny? This is a true story. I was 16 or 17 years old. This is before I knew of anything called the law of attraction. But I wrote down on a piece of paper about 3 labels that I was going to intern for. I didn't know what any of them were. I said, I'm going to intern for Gospel-Centric, Verity Records, or Savoy Records. I didn't know what any of these labels were. But I believe it was a divine alignment, because in my high school, the security guard, who I was really good friends with, he was good friends with the general manager of Verity Records, which is now RCA Inspiration. And as a youngster, and I still do it, I would read a lot of credits. And so he said, Ken, you need to stick around, for this particular day, because I have the general manager of Verity Records coming. I said, whoa, right? I was blown away. And so I followed her everywhere around the school.
I bet.
And I shared her discography with her. And she was so impressed, because she was like, you're like 16, 17 years old. Like, how do you know me, and why do you know me?
Research. Wow.
Yeah. And that was my starting point, into the business. So she took a liking for me, embraced me, gave me my shot, and I interned for her. And it was a phenomenal experience. She's still my mentor to this day.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you started interning at 16 years old.
I would say 17. I would say
17.
Yeah. It was 17. I would say at 17 years old, started interning. Like I said, I had this great penchant for music. I loved gospel music, I still do. I loved the genre of gospel. It just had that feeling, especially gospel in the 90s. And that was 2000, but throughout the 90s, it just had this sound. The 80s and the 90s just really had this sound where it was just so authentic. It was organic. It was great penmanship, great energy. So it was just such an honor to, be in her presence. And so I did my best to contribute to her roster as, amongst the artists that were already there. And so I did. She didn't sign them, but I did submit some great people, and we know their names today.
So who is your first big thing? The first one.
So, you know what? I was on fire, man. So that's around the bad boy era, right? So right. So Diddy is showing us how to be this phenomenal A&R. So they used to call me Little Diddy.
Wow.
It's amazing how things come full circle, if you will.
Right.
But so, and so I went out to Washington, D.C. to this conference called the PK Conference.
Okay.
It was designated for preachers' kids. My dad is a pastor.
Yes.
So I went out there, and it was the board was 5 PKs. It was Rashid Flake, who's the son of Dr. Flake.
Dr. Floyd.
That's my brother. PJ Morton. So that's how many years, that's how long ago it was.
Wow.
Crystal Owens, she's the daughter of Susie Owens. Kalilia Wilson, her dad is a big pastor out there. Bishop Jake's boys, Jamar Jakes. And I think that's
nobody called me. I'm a PK. Sorry, it's about you. Go
ahead.
So,
but you know what? It was their very first one.
Okay.
It was something that they were getting off the ground. And I'm a drummer first. And so, so our circle was quite small. Right. So nonetheless, so check this out. So doing praise and worship was this guy, he just gave me chills, right? Okay. I was like, yo, and I'm an intern, right? So I really want to make my mark. So he gave me chills, and I ain't gonna tell you the name just yet. Okay. And then on the Friday night, this young choir came and they killed it. So I went back to New York once the conference was over.
Right.
And I said, hey Tyra, I saw this person, I saw that person, I think you need to give him a chance. And the praise and worship leader was William Murphy. He was the praise and worship leader. And the choir was Ty Tribbett.
Yes. 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 Your ear is
So
good. Yes.
she didn't sign them,
Well,
but how ironic is this? 5 years later, because I was 2000, so like by 2005, I
yeah.
would say her position changed. She went to Sony Music. Ty Tribbett was already signed to a Sony company called
Okay.
Columbia Records, and by this
Yeah.
time, William Murphy. By this time, William had a lot of success because of a song called "Praises of What I Do."
Oh, that old thing.
So I was like, I guess I was 5 years too early.
Oh, wow. I want to say it's the opposite. They needed to catch up with you, but okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that's how I got started, and what it did was it gave me confidence as a young guy. So when you're 17, when you're 22, you know, you need a voice to say you have what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, shout out to my mentor for giving me the opportunity, just opening those doors,
That's awesome.
allowing me to be exposed to a room where like you could bump into anybody. Around that time. Back then, like I said, it was called Verity Records, and the label was
Right.
the secular side. It was called Jive Records.
Uh-huh.
So like literally, you could bump into whoever the biggest name was at the time. So that could be like Britney Spears. You know what I mean? To
Just in the room.
yeah, to
Okay.
Marvin. No, Fred Hammond was big then. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah.
So, and since then, I have your bio pulled up here. Your bio is quite extensive. You worked with, you've worked with quite a few people. You worked on the Travis Green project, the Four. Oh, I'm paused. What's going on? Kenyan, Kenyan. Please hold, guys. We have some waiting for his connection to reconnect. Oh, I'm sure he'll be back. Please, hey Britt, guys, share this live, okay? Especially my singing folks on here, because we are talking to an A&R scout, and we want to talk to him mainly about what is the it factor, what are the industry people looking for, and he has a lot of great advice for independent artists. So please share the live. Okay, he's back. KenPen.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We're back.
Sorry about that.
So no, it's quite fine. So we were going over just some of the people that you have worked with. You've worked with Diddy. You mentioned Diddy. You've worked on the Four. You worked with so many amazing people. Who is on your wish list, your bucket list to work with next?
Next, you know what? I would say I would love to work with Puff again. Being in a room with him, is very vibrant. It's very energetic.
Okay.
Very upbeat. It is a great learning experience.
So he's really like what we see on his Instagram, because he's always like very lively.
Oh yeah, nonstop. Very energetic. High caliber, high standards.
Right.
I would say that there's a lot of artists that I haven't worked with as of yet.
Okay.
I love Rihanna. I love
Who
Adele.
doesn't?
Yeah.
Ooh, what the hell? Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Khalid is another one. Like just people that are making like really great music and music that you can feel.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you mentioned Diddy. I want to know who for you was your inspiration business wise. I know we talked about music, but business wise, who did you look at and say you are goals?
You are gold. The founder of BET, Bob Johnson.
Come on. Yeah.
Um, well, Diddy is not just an artist; he's also a great businessman,
Yes.
great business mind. I had the pleasure of actually working with his mentor, the late Andre Harrell.
Yes, I saw that you posted that. Yeah.
Yeah. Great business mind. Um, to L.A. Reid. A lot of the guys that I've looked up to were actually in my field.
Okay.
Because I've always saw myself breaking through.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah.
Now, I like to backtrack, and I like to look at a person's progress who seems very successful as you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned a few things so far, and even from your bio. Number one, I saw that you studied this, right? You are a graduate of Baruch. You
Yeah.
went, right? You majored in entrepreneurship and music business.
Yeah.
Right? So number one, you acquired the knowledge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said in the beginning. You said that you knew about the law of attraction. So
Mm-hmm.
you wrote down and you thought about and you spoke what you wanted to see,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel like by the time that you met the young lady, right, for the internship,
Mm-hmm.
you already had acquired some kind of knowledge of what needed to happen. I think that was very admirable. And then you also mentioned that you had mentors. So I'm lining all of this up for you because I want you to talk to the independent artists that are watching right now. Like, again, especially the younger generation, they just think that it's just about social media. And I have a good voice. I can just sing. My music will go viral and I'll get discovered. I wish it were that easy. So
Right.
I want you to talk to the independent artists and really give some sound advice.
Oh, be a student of your craft. Be dedicated. You know, bump the platform. The platform
Excuse
is
me.
the reward to your dedication to the process. The
That's good.
platform is your reward to your dedication to the process. We're in an era now where success appears to be very rapid. But I do believe that as quickly as it comes, can be as quickly as it goes. And so dedicate yourself to the process. The process will teach you a lot of things. The process will help foster character.
Yeah.
The process will help educate you on life and in your field. Um, you never have to chase the process. So being a believer, one of my favorite scriptures is in the book of Psalms where it says, surely goodness and mercy will follow you
All the
all the
days.
days. So really the platform is chasing you. And so therefore you want to be ready for it um, by preparing. That's your way of expressing gratitude. Your preparation is your gratitude towards the platform.
Wow. Yes, Brittany, she's an amazing independent artist. She said, be a student of your craft. The platform is the reward. I have it. Yeah, yeah, girl, I got it written down too. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing. And you, even in your bio, it says that is your statement. Preparation precedes platform.
yeah, it's real.
Wow.
It's real. Those rooms that I entered into, those were with heavyweights, and you have to be ready for it. But even in the scriptures, we look at like a Joseph, we look at a David.
Yeah.
David was sought after because he was ready. Joseph was sought after because he was ready. So I take biblical scenarios and apply them to my personal life because they were human beings too. And but sometimes we get so enamored with the platform that we lose
Right.
focus of what it really means to be great, what it really means to be ready, what it means to be excellent. So it's a process.
It is. And I feel like if you don't go through the process, and say you do get discovered, because some things may be time, some things may be chance,
Yeah.
then what keeps you, what is that sustaining thing? So if you've gone through no process and now you're out there, it's like, now what? Because as you said, you can be here today and tomorrow the next best thing comes out and people
Yeah.
forget about you.
Yeah. The industry is
Right?
different. The industry is different. The
Excuse me.
industry today differs from the industry that I came into. In
How
other
so?
words, the product, what we call a product life cycle, a
Mm-hmm.
project can last way longer a couple of years ago versus today because due to the advent of technology, the
Yes.
streaming, music gets turned around, turned out so quickly, and so therefore the life cycle of a product is not as long as it used to be. That's why you have to be committed to the process because the process will teach you quality, and when you have quality,
Mm.
it will provide a longer lifespan.
I'm gonna start charging for these Music Mondays because these people be out here giving y'all some nuggets. Okay, that is awesome. Wow. Now,
Yeah.
when we talk about, there's something called the it factor,
Oh yeah.
and I really want you to break that one down slow because I'm taking my own notes. when you get before an A&R and you come, you ready, you got your song, you did your warm-ups, all of that. What is it that they're looking for? What is the it factor? What is it that says she's a star?
Well, let's go back.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's like a loaded question because
I know.
today's A&R differs a bit from yesterday's A&R. Today's A&R actually looks for numbers. They look for analytics.
Okay.
Okay. But in terms of an it factor, you look for the artist that embodies the art, right? They embody it, right?
Yeah.
They personify it. There is a charisma about them. There is a confidence about them.
Yes.
There is an assertion about them. And so it displays in their persona, even if it's a shyness, it's a confident, confident shyness.
Quiet confidence.
Quiet storm. But then when it comes time to perform, it's all eyes on them. They're excellent. It's divine.
Yeah.
It's accurate. It can even be imperfect, but it can be like imperfectly perfect.
Wow.
There are artists who don't necessarily always hit the right note, but there's a soul, there's a feeling that accommodates the moment.
Because notes can be fixed.
Notes can be fixed. Now I'm not saying don't be accurate with your notes.
Well, yeah. Let's be specific about that one. Of course. Right. But what I'm saying is, if you make a little mistake, not consistently, but the person, like, there's a feeling. In other words,
there's a feeling. You want to leave people with an experience. Music is designed to make you feel, not just hear.
Right.
It's designed to make you feel, and that's why you can have artists like the great Alicia Keys, who may not be so precise with her notes, but we feel it when she, she sung "Baby, baby, baby."
Every word,
You feel that emotion, right? We are human beings, so the job of the artist is to convey that feeling. So it can range from people with it factors. You can almost group them, right?
Okay.
So you can put a Marvin Winans, who's gospel, in the room with an Adele. And put Adele with Gladys Knight, and put Gladys Knight with Mary J. Blige, and then put Mary J. Blige with Sting, right? And then put Sting with Yolanda Adams, right? Why?
Put Yolanda with Fantasia.
Perhaps.
See, this is why I'm not the A&R. Okay.
But you do that. Why? Because they all have an it factor. A Marvin Gaye with the Donny Hathaway, you know what I mean? And it's because they have that it factor. Donny Hathaway with the MJ, Michael Jackson, that is, and that's because it's an it factor. They all make you feel.
So, and I feel like you guys have like the hardest job, right? Especially if you come from Brooklyn, because I feel like if you come from Brooklyn, you walk into any church and it's just a plethora of amazing singers. So you're in a room. There are 20 people that can sing just church that come in the room. So it's notes on point, everything, riffs, right? All the Kojic riffs, everything is on point. What makes you choose the one from the 20? In addition to what you've already said, of course.
Well, again, my ear is, I say this humbly, but I have a diverse ear.
Okay.
So my palate differs from others.
Okay.
And so I'm not listening for how well you can riff, because truth be told, riff don't sell albums. Feeling does.
Truth.com.
Because riffs are not universal.
Right.
Singing is a language. Singing is a language. So if you're riffing and I don't speak that language, then I'll be confused. That's why people like Yolanda Adams. When you look at these award shows, who do they call? They call Yolanda Adams. Yes. You can ingest and digest. You can identify with it. So I'm not looking for the best person that can riff. Because a song consists of melody.
Yes.
So when you think about when you were a child, you learned your ABCs. You didn't learn them like A, B.
Right.
A, B, C, D, F, G.
That's it.
me.
Right.
So so I'm looking for the person that can speak to me in a way that I can understand and feel and remember. I want to remember you. Yeah, I want to remember you. I can hear you all day. I got ears, but if I remember you, that's what I felt.
I'm sorry, I'm blown away. I'm not stopping because I have a load of questions. I'm just blown away. I'm just like, this is so good. Hey, Shanta, another amazing independent artist. Hey, Shanta, she said, this is good. This is good, right? Good. This is good. Guys, if you have your own questions, just hit that little question mark box there, and I'm going to get to you guys' question in a second. Wow. Awesome. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about COVID, because COVID just came on in and changed the trajectory of life as we know it.
It did.
Especially for us creatives.
It did.
So what should we be doing now? Besides, obviously everyone knows you have to turn to the internet. But I feel like the problem is everyone has turned to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So how can creatives, how can artists stay afloat, stay alive, keep their branding alive during this day and age? Because now we can't throw concerts. So
Right.
What now?
You just, to be honest, you got to be creative. Look at what's out there, see what it is that you can do a bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just be you. The truth of the matter is, everybody don't know that you're here, especially if you're an independent artist.
So
and
true.
So continue to cater to your fan base and build it. You know what I mean? Because word of mouth is still relevant.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? So definitely speak to your fan base. Engage with them. That's how you're going to grow. You know what I mean? Take them along the journey. Take them along the process. Show them what you're doing today. You know what I mean? Are you writing a new song? Are you in the studio? Did you create your own studio since you've been home?
I sure did. I'm sorry, you're not talking to me. I sure did.
Take them along the journey, because then they feel like, man, I'm a part of the process. And they feel like, hey, we're family, we're friends,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Awesome. I feel like I wanted to do the spoof when this whole thing first happened, because I'm an independent artist.
Right.
You get on live, you have your little few viewers that you engage with, and then you see the notification, Kurt Franklin has gone live, and everybody goes, right? And I want to say, guys, Tasha, Kurt, can you guys give us a second? We know if we don't hear from you for a week, you guys are okay, but us, I just need, can I get some time without you taking all my little people? Yes, Britt, take them along the journey. Shout out to Brittany Henry, guys. Her single just dropped today. Please go out and support, have a heart for the indie artists. We've been talking scripture. I know that you are a PK. You're like a legit man of God. You're not like those who grew up in the church and then backed up, and you're happy to be in the secular world. So my question to you is, how do you separate your true faith in God from what you do in the secular music industry? Because we know that's a whole situation.
Well, you have to know that this is for you. This is purpose. You know what I mean? And so, and purpose comes from above. And so, I involve God in everything that I do, because to be honest, a lot of the doors that I'm walking through, like he's just letting me know, hey, this is the way I want you to go. This is the way I want you to go. So he has to go in there with me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, oftentimes there's a taboo, like when you're in the church circuit, like, oh no, you're not supposed to be there.
Right.
But it's like, nah, man, you don't know my purpose. You know what I mean? So because I know my purpose, and trust me, I've been combated, I've been opposed, but I know my purpose. I've seen change in those rooms. I've had studio sessions shut down, and we literally had prayer. Yeah, and they weren't gospel sessions either.
No, clearly. Wow, that's amazing. Are you like a low key pastor? Just, you can tell me. I won't tell anybody.
No, you know what? We think about a shepherd, right? Like they tend to the sheep.
Yeah.
And I think my call might be towards, it's outside of the four walls. But I am a proud Sunday worshiper as well.
And I love, so you don't lose who you are, even when you are working with and this is so bad that I'm like categorizing everybody, but like a weed smoking rapper with video vixens around
Oh
him all
no,
the time. Like,
not at all,
you
not
just
at all.
stand your ground.
That's a soul. You know what I mean? And and they need what we have.
I love
You know
that.
what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's like, nah, not at all. Like these people, they're people. You know what I'm saying?
of
They're
course.
people, and sometimes the behavior is not. It has nothing to do with the industry. Sometimes it's just life.
Truth.
Sometimes it's just life. People go
Truth.
through life. You know what I mean? Because there are also artists that sing the gospel that are doing things that we don't know about. And so
Ken,
there's
that's a
no
whole nother
room.
show.
Oh no, it's
Cause
all good though. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why Christ came here. So it's like I'm not worried about it.
yeah.
It doesn't intimidate me, and I'm older now too, so I'm not as easily influenced.
So keep your ground. Let your light shine no matter where you go. At the
Take
end
him
of the
with
day.
you. Take him with you.
Right.
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ.
Strengthens me.
Yes.
Yes, Sean. So she said we are carriers of God's presence wherever we go. Indeed,
That.
indeed, indeed. I'm gonna get a little personal for 1 second. What has been your greatest obstacle, and how have you overcome? Greatest obstacle in life.
My
You can
greatest
be as
obstacle.
transparent as you feel comfortable being.
My greatest obstacle. Um, Good question. You know what? I would say this. I just came out of a very turbulent, tumultuous season. As some of the viewers
Yes.
may know,
Yes.
both my brothers were hit with COVID 19,
Yes.
but my brother right after me was on a
Mm-hmm.
ventilator. He was intubated for 3 weeks in the
3
40,
long weeks.
and it was scary.
Yeah.
Um, and it was interesting because it was right after, like literally, it was like I just completed making the band, and then I went right into the storm of my life. And so every day wasn't, easy. We
Mm-hmm.
conducted prayers, weekly, every
Mm-hmm.
2 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then there was also the church prayers that I had with my own church, my dad, pastor, and we're still
Yes.
praying,
Yes.
twice a day, like still, like no days off, like we're still praying.
Awesome.
Uh,
Awesome. Yeah.
and but it was trying. It was a bit scary, and I must confess that I did experience some post, what is it, PSTD, post
PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
and I was fighting some things quietly. Um, I was fighting some things quietly, but nothing that prayer couldn't get me through. And just some
Mm-hmm.
good friends, but I was able to like really get quiet, reset,
Mm-hmm.
and look at the reward of God just coming through for my family. We didn't have to bury him, bury any of them, but
Whew.
it was more intense because I literally saw through a picture. I saw him intubated. So I was
Jesus.
bearing images that others didn't have to
Yeah.
bear
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and so it was quite intense. Um, and so, but I'm so grateful for just the
Man,
way God just he brought a peace to that whole situation and gave us victory at the end.
what a testimony.
Yeah, that was all him.
What? Oh, Jesus. Thank you, God. Breathe, bam. Hashtag. Everybody must breathe. Bam. Breathe.
Right, breathe there.
Breathe.
Right. Now, to be honest, I told my dad in my Father's Day post. I said, the world knew Breathe Bam because of you. You know, I publicized it via social media, but
Right.
Breathe Bam came from you.
From the
So,
oh.
you know what I mean? So, you guys were able to chant Breathe Bam because Bam had a praying father who was diligent and faithful. And as a son and as a
Whew.
brother, it was my job to, convey the message.
Shout out to Overseer Penceal. I'm sure you know this, Overseer. You have some amazing, amazing young men of God. Yeah, I know TZ personally. That's a praying fool right there. My goodness, my goodness. I see that we have a question. I'm going to get to it right now. Guys, if you have any questions, just hit the little question mark box. Someone's, what? How will you blend music with work? Because I sing work and university 3 years. So I think what he's asking is, he's saying that he's in university and he's working. Oh, Raymond from Ghana. Shout out to Ghana. Ghana's in the building.
Okay,
So
that's what's
I
up.
guess he's asking how do you balance out work? Like if you're trying to be an artist, but you still have like a 9 to 5, you're still in school. How do you balance that out?
Well, that was one of the greatest lessons I've had to learn.
Mm.
And this was like after working for a record label. And then like I had to do like regular jobs, and I was like, why? Like why? Like this is like post working like at the record label, like Travis Green, all those guys. Like because so what
Wow.
happened is the label that I worked for got acquired by another Sony label out in Nashville, and
Oh.
and so I was like, oh. And so what it did for me was, it's my nature to scout and find talent, recognize who's next, also
Mm.
songwriter and etc. Do a little bit, a lot. That's the answer.
Okay. Do a little bit,
Do
a
a little
lot.
bit, a lot.
Wow.
You gotta do it every day. Don't let where you are deter you from where you want to be. Let where you want to go be your destination. Let where you are be your starting point.
This is just coming off the dome. Like, did you have this written down somewhere where you? Oh no, we're frozen. Okay, you back?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
are
Can
you
you
just
see me?
like saying this off the dome? I can see you. Can you hear me?
You can see me. You know what? The audio's off.
Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
You know what? I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna log out and log back in.
Okay, we're here.
Okay.
Yes, do a little bit, a lot, right? T, yo, he's dropping some gems. I'm gonna ask him like, are you writing a book? He's just talking like nothing is written down. It's just we're gonna wait for him to come back. Share this live. We still have 20 minutes left. You guys still ask your questions. Put your questions. Hey, sugar. Thank you, girl. I ain't feel like putting on no lashes. Thank you, Britt.
Hey guys,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right. I was asking, like, is this you're spitting such knowledge, and it's just like coming? Is this coming off the dome? Like, do you have this written down somewhere? Just
Oh no. I'm sharing stuff I live. I've lived something. I saw one of my brothers in here. Quan, what's up, bro? I love you, man.
hey,
The reason why
brother.
I reference Quan is because he has been key to my development in terms of what happens after your dream door closes. And so I had to learn how to function after the dream. And so what you're hearing is my experience. So it's important. So I'm sharing this stuff out of experience, and I hope it helps somebody. You got to do a little bit, a lot,
Right.
because what's today? Today's June 22nd. Set
Mm-hmm.
goals, right? Set goals. So you
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, I'm going to start on June 22nd, and by August 22nd, I would like to be here. So in one of my classes in college, I learned about goals. Goals are measurable.
Right.
And what happens is we have what's in our minds, right?
Uh-huh.
But we don't translate what's in our minds to something tangible, to paper. And so what happens is we get overwhelmed because we're not seeing what's in our mind. But if we can translate what's in our mind onto some type of paper or board, whiteboard. I use a whiteboard in my apartment.
Yes.
Then it can help. It can help, set you on course. So for me, So to the brother in Ghana, you got to do a little bit a lot. Take the time. You know what I mean? What you're seeing is 20 years, and what you're hearing is 20 years of experience.
Wow.
But keep in mind, it wasn't all record label.
Right.
No.
Right.
I didn't go from the intern to the executive.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
performed, but
Mm.
that wasn't God's plan for me.
Okay.
I performed. So I brought Ty Tribbett. I brought William Murphy, but there was a real process I had to go through.
Wow.
So I've learned through process, you have to do a little bit a lot. Because tomorrow you can get that big call, but if you don't, it's okay.
Right.
Because when you look at tomorrow, you can say, yo, but yesterday I was here. So then it denotes progress. And progress
Yes.
is the most underrated types of success that we encounter. It goes overlooked. We say, I don't want that.
Right.
But for progress, things take time. So do a little bit a lot.
So the name of your upcoming book is When the Door Closes. Yeah.
You know,
You got to write this stuff down. We need it. Oh my gosh. This is so good. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying.
Nah, go ahead. Keep the questions coming. I'm enjoying this.
Oh my God. Hi, Bam. You just talked about you, Bam.
Hey, Babski. My brother.
Wow. If you guys, somebody is Jubilee, you laughing at me, girl. I like, life, have fun in life, okay? Have fun in life. Guys, if you have more questions, just hit the question box, and I will ask the questions. Wow. I'm so full on, like they say in church, on tonight. I'm so full. So what is next for you? I know you have officially started your own situation, WilPen LLC.
Hey.
Okay. So what's next?
Well, you know what? I am so excited about where I'm at this particular juncture, because I'm doing, or rather I'm applying what I've done for companies, and doing it for myself, because I started realizing, hey, son, you're the talent. You are the talent. So Don't wait for someone to hire you. And I would encourage any entrepreneur out there to do the same. But please understand this: in doing it for yourself, it's imperative that you learn infrastructure. Be a student of the game. So ask yourself. So, like in my case, I see myself as a young Sony. WilPen.
Okay.
I see myself as a young publisher.
Yes.
I see myself as my heroes. So therefore, it's imperative that I at least, or at most, establish an infrastructure so that my company can operate successfully.
So everything, even when you were, I know you touched on like copywriting your stuff, but just, I know I told the people, WilPen LLC. So get your company incorporated. Like, go through all of the steps.
Yeah.
Right. Don't just be like, I'm gonna start something. Follow my Instagram.
Take your time. Again, going back to what we were discussing earlier, a lot of things can be so Friday's event, the copyright and the publishing piece that we spoke of, was presented by WilPen and Black to Basics. And Black to Basics is an initiative, a concept that God gave me. And the mission statement is from consumption to ownership. From consumption to ownership, from perception to possession, and from employment to entrepreneurship. We have to move from the perception of things to the possession of things. So in social media, we're really amped and we're hyped by how things appear. But we have to go beyond that and really establish a foundation so that we can have longevity and legacy. So we're moving from perception to possession.
Sorry, every time you see me look down, I'm writing, because this is so good. Moving from perception.
Yeah, perception to possession. So so in 2018, I did a show called The Four. very, very grateful for it. Allow me to share my story just a little bit. So in
Of course.
2015, I was working for RCA Inspiration, the #1 gospel label.
Mm-hmm.
It still is.
Mm-hmm.
And the HR department said, "Hey, Ken, RCA proper wants to sit down with you. They heard about you. They heard that you're a songwriter. You have good ears.
Right.
You do more than gospel music." I said, "Oh, that would be wonderful." And so sat down, had a wonderful meeting, wonderful interview. They loved me, gave me
Right.
an assignment and everything. It didn't go through. I was confused, didn't know. I was like, "Why did that happen?"
Right.
So almost a whole year later, the president of the A&R department reached out to me
Mm-hmm.
on a Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
apologizing. "Kenyan, I'm so sorry. That's totally out of my character. As you can imagine, being over an A&R department of the magnitude that I am consists of a lot. No problem." He said, "I want you to know that we have an open door policy." Oh, that's wonderful. Great. So had a wonderful meeting. I'm thinking it's about to go down now.
Right.
It ain't go down anywhere. I'm like, "Yo, what did you call me for?" But no,
Right.
so, right, it was all good. But to be very transparent, for those that are listening, remember I said you got to do a little bit a lot. You got to be consistent.
Yes.
I was a bit distraught because I wasn't pursuing that door anymore,
Okay.
and consequently, I was like, I'm good. Well, and I think in the month of February or March of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
I got a phone call from Mario Winans, who was working on the 4 with Diddy.
Yeah.
He was the music executive producer of the show. He said, "Ken, because we have a working relationship. We've
Right.
been working together for a number of years." He said, "Ken, they need people like you. Are you interested in coming on board?" I said, "Of course."
Yeah.
Right? So check it out. So the assignment was originally 2 weeks.
Okay.
Um, so after like week 2, it was like, "Yo, we need you. Like, you could stay on board if you want to. Like, it's totally up to you." So I said, "Oh man, thank you so much." They was like, "As long as you want." I said, "Oh man, I love this. Sure." So I'm thinking that it's about to wrap up. They
Right.
say, "Hey, listen, there's a mandate from P Diddy. Do you mind doing some jet setting?" I said, "Get me the heck out of here."
I love
Right?
it. Oh my
I said, "Get me the
God.
heck out of here. I'm ready to go traveling."
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right? And so where did we go? We had 6 cities: Nashville, Charlotte, Atlanta, Philly, New York. That's 5, but we ended up going to Miami.
Okay.
It was Memorial Weekend, so we went to, right. Unbeknownst to me, Andre Harrell joined us. Right. I didn't know that Andre was going to join us.
Oh.
Right. I'm heading somewhere with this.
Uh-huh.
Andre joined us once we got to Charlotte,
Okay.
and sitting in the presence of greatness like that, it showed
Man.
why he was the progenitor or the predecessor for someone like Diddy,
Diddy, right?
Mary J. Blige,
Yes.
Jodeci,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Guy, Teddy Riley. He was the first of many things. And so I'm looking at him, and one of the things I noticed, he would defer to me a lot. I was like, And what that did for me was it fostered my confidence because, keep in mind, in 2016, right, I thought that I was about to get hired by RCA Records. In
Ah.
2017, I thought it was going to happen again.
Right.
But then in 2018, God said, "Let me give you something special. I'm going to take you out of the record business for a second. I'm going to put you in the TV business, right? I'm going to allow you to be amongst moguls, right?" Because so what happened was after we left Charlotte, we flew to Miami.
Okay.
Diddy was in Miami. He has a house. He has a mansion out there.
Of course.
So God says, "Watch this. I've never been to Puff's house before. I've been around Puff plenty of times, but never been to his house."
Okay.
So we went to Diddy's mansion, where you got to hit the bell. You got to let the person know Diddy's here. You drive through the gate, the long
Right.
journey, right? You
Right.
drive, and before you step foot inside that house, you're taking off your sneakers and you're putting on some slippers because you're not going to mess up this man's floor.
Of course. The real marble that he flew in from. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that was just phenomenal, and not knowing that before the night and we would be having dinner not just with Diddy but with Drake. Drake would be one of the guests of the evening. So I shared
And
that
it's just
because
like Tuesday night, right? Like, it's regular. Right? Just,
I forget what night it was. Might have
see,
been
it's just like a
Saturday, but it
regular
was Sunday.
night for them. Like,
It was Sunday, correct? Yeah, it was a Sunday though,
wow.
because we were all watching the basketball game, like Cleveland Cavaliers versus.
Okay.
But it was a phenomenal time. So the point I was making is this: tying into me doing it for myself,
Mm-hmm.
being around a leader like Andre Harrell, who encouraged the next generation of leaders. It inspired me.
Right.
And who
Right.
would have known that 2 years later he
Right.
would transition? But the impression that he made on my life will continue for a lifetime.
Forever. Wow.
So what I was able to do, what I'm doing now,
Excuse me.
is based on the seeds of those who believed in me, those who gave me a voice, those who gave me a platform. But remember though, watch this though, for those who want a voice and want a platform, there was a season when I was silent.
Wow.
So don't despise your season of silence, because in your season of silence, that's the season where you're supposed to learn, you're supposed to glean, you're supposed to just be up, just go on YouTube. If you can't get to Diddy, watch every Diddy interview possible.
Yes.
If you can't get to Jay-Z, find Jay-Z interviews. That's how you learn. Because if you're committed and dedicated to the process, right? When that moment comes, it's going to be time to shine. And one thing about successful people, they love hearing about themselves.
Oh, I've got. Wow.
So you have to, so consequently, I'm doing it for myself. I'm surrounded by some great mentors,
Mm-hmm.
who I still, I run questions by. I'm an avid reader. I love reading.
Awesome.
And I love the art, and I love people. And I think that those are really key things. Independent artists, please remember, be mindful of who you do business with. Because some will only see you as a commodity and not as a soul. They will only see you as a commodity. So daily, you want to pray for discernment. Because you got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Because some will see your talent only and see how they can monetize off of you.
And that's
it. They don't see anything about you. So don't be anxious. Don't be in a rush to get there. If you're called to it, it's awaiting you.
Okay, Ken. So you just gonna get on my live and just speak to my whole soul. Just me. Wow.
Yeah.
There are very few people who leave me speechless. Forgive me. Wow. That's so. Wow. Yes. Shanta said you have a teaching ministry. Mm-hmm. Sign up for his webinar. He's going to do a whole 7-part series on this, guys.
Oh, she's speaking it? Okay.
Listen, you just how my brain works. It's so bad. It's good and it's bad. Kenyan, you have blessed us tonight. Seriously, I really appreciate you coming and pouring. You poured out so much goodness to us. And I just want to reiterate, everyone who's watching, Kenyan was prepared. You were prepared when you were in the room, when you got the chance to be in the room, because you never know when it's going to happen, right? Especially if you're being consistent. You never know when it's going to happen. So you don't want when it happens to just look like the I don't know. He was prepared. I think that is so awesome. Yes, behind the dream. Yes, T. Yes, sorry, I'm just reading the comments. That's awesome. You are an inspiration to everyone, and we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for just pouring out everything that you did for us tonight.
It's my pleasure. Listen, guys, should you have any further questions, follow me at I am KenPen. That's IAM as in mother. KenPen, KenPen. I'm a real cool guy. You know what I mean? I love
He's
people.
so cool, guys. He like answered my text. He answered my DM. He's really cool. And on your Facebook is the playback, right, for the conference he did on Friday night.
Yeah, yeah.
So because I have to watch it too. Go on his Facebook. He had
Yeah.
Mario Winans on, along with
Yeah.
who else? I'm sorry, who else was on there with you?
So it was Mario Winans.
And
It was my good friend who's up here, Dana.
hey, Dana.
Dana Martin, former co-worker of mine. We did Wild Gospel.
Awesome.
And sort of everything that we were discussing on Friday, like we literally did together in work, as we were discussing publishers and etc.
Yes.
So, very, very bright mind, very, very bright mind, great friend of mine. Danielle Middleton, creative A&R of Sony ATV, which is a music publishing company.
Beautiful.
And so what they do is depending on the type of deal you have, pretty much they administer your catalog. If you got a co-publishing deal, they help you with placements, that being on albums, commercials,
right,
etc. Who else? Oh, my good friend Alonzo Austin, entertainment attorney, based out in North Carolina.
Because we all should have entertainment lawyers.
Absolutely. Good guy. He has some clients that are doing huge things.
Awesome.
Out there, and my co-host was Andre Mullen, another beautiful soul. So the basis of it was to provide a platform for both indie artists and major, even major artists, because you cannot assume that every artist, every songwriter, know the business just because they're in the business.
True.
You know what I mean? Because oftentimes the creative, focuses on the creative,
mm-hmm.
The creative aspect. And so, again, I feel like my mission really in life is to help people and to serve.
Awesome.
And so why not provide a platform that can help enlighten? So, should you have any questions, hit me up on, on IG, shoot me a DM. I read them, I respond.
Yes, he does.
On Facebook. Please understand, I'm an A&R all day, every day. I have a wonderful team. My good brother, Quan Williams. Shout out to Quan. I don't know if he's still up here, but he has a hip-hop blog site, I guess you call it, for Hip Hop Junkie. A lot of A&Rs, like a lot of heavy hitters,
nice.
Following. But another guy who just has amazing ear. So, we're out there with scouting. So like I said, what I've done for the four, what I've done for making the band, what I've done for the labels, I'm doing myself.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We have 5 seconds left and I don't want it to cut you off.
All good.
Thank you.
No problem.